This has been an unbelievable few weeks for us here at the University of Massachusetts, Boston. We always look forward to this time of year. These commencement exercises, whether they're convocations, whether it's students we encounter in the hallway that haven't turned their papers in on time so they can graduate tomorrow, whether it's those who didn't tell their parents they were graduating, but they found out, whatever the case may be. It's a wonderful time for us. We are so excited to have everyone here tonight. My name is Keith Motley, and I'm proud to be the Chancellor of the University of Massachusetts, Boston. This campus has been waiting for you. If you haven't been here before, which I hope it's just a few people that came up from Ohio and Pittsburgh and all those other places and from London and all over the world to be here. But if you haven't been here before, you're in for a treat tomorrow. See, it doesn't rain on the University of Massachusetts, Boston. You know, like they say when you go to the islands, it just rains for a moment and then it's liquid sunshine, they call it. Tomorrow it's going to be like liquid sunshine if the rain has the nerve to show up, because there's so much excitement, so much to celebrate, so many wonderful people like yourselves. That's what's going to make it so special. Welcome to this honorary degree dinner. It's the 41st commencement of this wonderful university. Let me first begin by acknowledging my wife and the First Lady of the University of Massachusetts, Boston, Angela Motley. She is co-hosting this event with me tonight. However, she's allowed me to start it out tonight and use the microphone. I have her permission to get started. But I'd also like to begin by acknowledging the Board of Trustee members who are here with us tonight. I want you to stand when I introduce you, just so we can see you and we can welcome you. Vice Chair Jim Karam, why don't you stand? Trustee Philip Johnston is supposed to be here with his beautiful wife, Beverly. And I don't know if they're here yet, but I know they should be on their way. So we'll just let him know we clap for him. We also have our student trustee. Where's Alex at? Alex Kolanovic is a student trustee. We are also happy to welcome the president of the University of Massachusetts, Jack Wilson, and his beautiful wife, Judy, who's here with him tonight. You know, Jack Wilson called me up one day and he told me, I'm downtown having lunch with your wife. Bragging about it. So I just took away your ability to introduce your wife tonight. Listen, this evening, I'm especially proud to acknowledge and welcome back to the University of Massachusetts, Boston, the two leaders of the divided city of Mitrovica. In the Balkans, Sadri Farati and Dragan Spasojevic. Stand up for a minute. Now, let me just say this. They participated, you know, we have been commencing. This is one of those celebrations that goes on and on and on and on. We find a way to do something to celebrate commencement. We just came from our graduate studies convocation, and tomorrow's commencement marks a historic occasion in peacemaking efforts for the people of their region and brings special distinction to our university. I'd like to share with you the context for that so you can understand how significant it is to have these two gentlemen. We want them to see those beautiful medals you have around their neck, too. Stand up. They can see the Chancellor's medal. Oh, my goodness. Yeah. Now, listen. One is an ethnic Albanian and is the minister of a local government administration for the Republic of Kosovo. Now, the jurisdiction of his ministry includes the southern part of Mitrovica, which is a population of 66,000 people, right? Predominantly Kosovar Albanians. Their allegiance is to the Republic of Kosovo. The other is president of the Citizens Movement for Kosovo in Mitrovica, in the northern part of the city. Its population is 16,000 constitutes Kosovo's only urban Siberian enclave. Living out a centuries-old cycle of mutual fear and hatred between Serbs and Albanians in the region, the citizens of those municipalities each disavows the legitimacy of the other. They just they didn't like each other, right? As there's no cooperation, they used to, right? I know, but hold up. I'm not trying to start no mess, I'm just telling the truth. Because see, you're here because we're trying to help you. You've done it. That's why we're celebrating you.
I demand you, but I learned.
And there is no cooperation between some of them, not these two. They exist for all practical purposes as if they're two different countries. In April, these two men came to the University of Massachusetts, Boston as delegates to a conference to establish a forum for cities in transition from conflict. It was organized by one of our dear professors, Padraig O'Malley. Stand up, Padraig O'Malley. He's our John Joseph Moakley Chair of Peace and Reconciliation. This international conference brought together representatives from divided cities for a dialogue to promote mutual understanding and to share knowledge and resources to resolve conflict through nonviolent methods. The focus was for leaders in these societies in transition to help their counterparts in other societies in transition. The other cities represented at the conference were Derry and Londonderry. I was made an honorary Derry person, okay? Oh, because I finally found out. I would always say, must have a little Irish in me somewhere, and they'd ask me, where you're from? So I got together with the two mayors when they were here, and I said, well, who can do what for me? And the guy from Derry said, I'll make you an honorary Derry person. Here I am. And we also had people from Iraq, Greek, and Turkish communities here as well. At the close of the conference, the delegates signed a groundbreaking agreement to establish a permanent forum for divided cities to address common problems and draw practical lessons from each other. These two, who had no previous engagement on the local level, volunteered to have their city host the first conference of this new forum in 2010, and to continue the dialogue between and among these cities in transition from conflict. This agreement is a collaborative effort on the international stage, and next year's conference has set the stage for cooperation between ethnic Albanians and Serbs in the Balkans. For their courageous commitment to collaborative leadership, to encourage resolution of conflict through nonviolent methods, they were jointly awarded one of the highest awards you can get from this university, the University of Massachusetts, Boston, Chancellor's Medal for International Peace and Reconciliation this afternoon. And I am so grateful to both of you. Stand again so we can recognize you. Now, you saw my comments earlier. You saw them. Oh, now you're back together. See how that works? Calm. We're all calm. We're all ready? Okay. Congratulations to you all. Translate that. Now listen. It's my pleasure to introduce to you the president of the University of Massachusetts, Jack Wilson. President Wilson is no stranger to this campus. In fact, he's someone who's here all the time on this Boston campus, trying to help this campus as we move forward to all of our strategic priorities, et cetera. So we're so glad you're here. President Wilson, come forward and say a few words to us.
Thanks a lot, Keith. And you know, when he introduced my wife, so I didn't get a chance to introduce her. He's just trying to get even because I introduced his mother at a recent event before he got a chance to introduce her. And
That was a good one.
Yeah, his mother is great.
Got you Trump. Oh, yeah. She thinks you trumped me on that with, mom,
I tried.
wife.
Every once in a while, I get a little ahead, you get a little ahead, and it really is great. And one of the things, we met another friend from Pittsburgh here. I grew up in Pittsburgh. Keith grew up in Pittsburgh. We both are transplanted to Massachusetts that have been here for a long time and thrive and so on. We keep some roots in Pittsburgh. And one time we went home and we got our whole families together, got our mothers together, and took her for a restaurant. I think they had to close down the restaurant by the time we finished. So, you know, it's been a great pleasure to work with someone with Keith's talent, Keith's leadership, Keith's personality, and just his charisma and drive. It's fantastic. And I love being here on this campus, as Keith has suggested, because it is a very special place with very special people. And, you know, it's just good to be a part of it. And to be here this evening with such an august group, students and the faculty award recipients. I was just sitting with Dominique over here, who wants to get a job working in Washington with Senator Kerry. We're working on that for her. Who, by the way, has a house in Pittsburgh, but I don't want to dwell too much on that. But you know, the distinguished members of the faculty that we have here, the university trustees who are here, the alumni, elected officials, community leaders that are over here and always supporting it. And I want to recognize tomorrow's speaker who couldn't be with us tonight. I understand he's come back from China tonight, and he's going to be here to speak tomorrow. Senator Kerry. He's been an ardent supporter of the university. And in fact, the night that he was nominated for the presidency of the United States, we were standing out here with that, we put on a Boston Pops concert to thank the city. And, you know, at 1:30 in the morning, he came down all fired up, and Teresa Heinz Carey came down completely exhausted. And that's really gave us the idea for having the graduations there. I want to also congratulate the other honorary award winners. Joe Kennedy, who I don't believe could be here with us tonight. Is Joe with us tonight?
He's probably in transit.
He's in transit here. Yep. Who's a pioneering political leader, a social entrepreneur, an alumnus of this institution, and has become a great personal friend. And I'm really impressed by everything he does. And I keep telling him that I want one of the blue jackets he wears in his, you know, his commercials too. You know, when he fills the oil. And Sister Margaret Leonard, who is here with us tonight because she's with us all the time. And everybody knows in the city that she's a tireless and creative advocate for the empowerment of children and families in Massachusetts. And, you know, Edwin Moses, who is also with us tonight, one of the most respected and recognized athletes of our time. Thank you for your work. Yeah, it's been incredible. To help with the development of drug-free sports, promote the ability of sports to break down barriers and foster social change. And he's even raising another athlete there that is, you know, a 7th grader and well on his way to becoming one of the next great athletes. And, you know, Keith, just commend you for doing this first class and your visionary leadership here. You know, this year it's the 40th anniversary of the first graduating class, the class of 1969. The 40th anniversary. Oh. Jim, you like that, huh? Were you the only one? No. I'm just kidding. I'm just kidding. And it's, you know, and the amazing thing is the first class has been, they're with us, they're here, they're supporting, and that's a tribute to you. And we're just incredibly proud of this campus's growth and achievements over the past 4 decades and the incredible benefits it brings this city and this state. And, you know, I attend this dinner every year. I attended last year, and you know, obviously we were in a very different economic picture last year. We were coming off the best year in the history of the university. We were all thriving. A funny thing happened on the way through this year. The wheels seemed to fall off the economy. We're facing the most severe economic turbulence since the Great Depression, as well as wars in Iraq and Afghanistan. I'm not a pessimist. I'm an optimist, okay? I am an optimist. And, you know, it's precisely in the midst of turmoil that the world goes through the most dramatic changes. And in our nation's brief history, the Revolution, the Civil War, and the Great Depression come to mind. That's when people really make change. That's when people like Sister Leonard, you know, kind of do their work, even in the toughest of times, under the toughest of circumstances, and all of our award winners, in fact, our faculty and our staff and our students. Great institutions like UMass and great individuals rise above the challenges. And as we face these challenging times, we have to put our best thinking to the task and engage in more partnerships and deeper collaboration, because it's part of our mission as a public research university. University of Massachusetts is central to the past, present, and future of the achievements of the citizens of the Commonwealth. And tonight's student and faculty honorees are shining examples of the amazing caliber of leadership we have on this campus. Our distinguished honorary degree recipients are leaders for their generations. We need the next generation, the students who will graduate tomorrow, to follow your examples. And you are one of the students who are going to graduate, but we want them to follow your example and Sister Leonard's example and Edwin Moses' example and Joe Kennedy and Senator Kerry, and you know, go out there and do all these the wonderful things that you have done. A few weeks ago, I joined Chancellor Motley, Harvard President Drew Faust here on this campus to dedicate UMass Boston's Venture Development Center, an exciting new portal for business partnerships on this campus. That event, we underscored the importance of universities as agents of innovation. And that's another example of what a university does with our students, with our research, and you know, creating new ventures. And what a partnership that is. Drew Faust, president of Harvard, got on the red line over here and rode the red line over, and the speech she gave talked about every stop on the red line and the great things that were going on as she went from their campus to our campus. You know, we educate more than 60,000 students, and the vast majority of our students, the 60,000 of the entire University of Massachusetts system, are the sons and daughters of the Commonwealth of Massachusetts. Over 80% of them stay after graduation here in Massachusetts. And in fact, when we looked a couple of years ago, we discovered that 2/3 of them, of all of our graduates, were still here in Massachusetts throughout their entire career. So these are people with deep roots in Massachusetts. And we're a leading research institution, pursuit of knowledge to cure disease, developing new technologies. We have new paradigms for understanding social problems, bringing forward innovation not only in science and technology, but in the creative economy, policy, and government. And right here on this campus, faculty members are working with the Dana-Farber Cancer Center to reduce health disparities in Boston. They're joining environmental stakeholders to develop integrated, multi-use ocean management policies. Easy for them to say. And they're bringing together leaders from a bitterly divided city to forge new political frontiers, as we've seen. Now, in a recent address to the National Academy of Sciences, President Obama committed to increased funding for scientific research, saying, "Even in the hardest times, against the toughest odds, we've never given in to pessimism. We've never surrendered our fates to chance. We have endured, we have worked hard, we have sought out new frontiers," and that's exactly what we must do here at the University of Massachusetts. A strong and stable UMass will preserve the Commonwealth's ingenuity and help lead its economic recovery. We're needed more than ever. Congratulations to the honorees. A lot is going to be expected of you. And thank you, Chancellor Motley, and everyone who joined us tonight for all that you do to support the university and our students. And thank you, First Lady Motley, for all the things, the wonderful things you do for the university, and the fact that you donate some of this guy's time so that he can help us out. We appreciate that. To all of you, enjoy the evening. Congratulations, and thank you very much.
Now, the way this is going to work for you tonight is we're going to have you, between these different courses, we're going to be talking. So this is your sort of your salad course, and we're going to be giving you a little bit of this, and then we're going to stop for a minute, and we're going to come back during your main meal, and during dessert we'll also talk, and we're going to let you go home, all right? But listen, Edwin, before it's like I've lost my mind, I know you're going to do this during your speech. I have to acknowledge the fact that your mom is here. Okay, Mrs. Moses, thank you for coming up from Ohio to be here. I want you to know I am on record that I've done that, okay? Sister Margaret, I took care of that, okay? All right, okay. I also want to introduce you to some unbelievable people that are my colleagues and my partners in here every day. Let's start with all the staff that's waiting on you tonight. Let's give them a round of applause. Winston Langley, who's been serving as provost. Winston, stand up. Let's give him a round of applause. I'd like to have all of our deans stand up. All of the deans here. Give them a round of applause. All of our vice chancellors. Vice chancellors, executive team. I'd like to have all of our vice somethings that are here. I told you, you're all chancellors, so everybody else who's worked so hard to make this campus roll, stand up and wave or do something. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Joan, I know you didn't stand up, so we're going to call you out now. Stand up. Yes, you. Yeah, okay, all right, okay. These are the real people that make this university the special place that it is. It makes it a joy. You know, I run out of the house every day to get here. It's not a day that I wake up that I don't look forward to working on this campus. And it's because of all of you, and we're thankful for that. We also have some wonderful friends of this institution. One beside Jack Wilson, who I can't think of a major event that we've done here that he has not been here to support. During Chancellor 1 and Chancellor 2, okay? Jim Karam, who is a dear friend of this campus, who was chairman of our board, now is our vice chairman of the board, working just as hard as he worked as chairman, as he did when he was what they called a member. And so we're so proud, Jim, to have you back. Come on up, say a few words to everybody. Thank you. Thank you, man.
I think I'm here so often, I'm wearing out the welcome mat, and but Keith keeps telling me to come back. Some of my other trustees are starting to doubt my perspective on looking at the campus. You know, we have 5 campuses, and we're supposed to look at them equally. I describe it like our children. You know, they're all different, but you're supposed to love them the same. So I want to clear up the rumor that I have a special place in my heart for this place and tell everybody they're right, I do. And there's a reason. My alma mater, is the Dartmouth campus, and this campus has a special place because as a child of immigrant parents and a first-generation college grad, I know what this campus means to so many families in the urban area. And the way we talk about UMass being a transformative place, this place transforms people. It's just unbelievable. 2 years ago, Keith, you remember, we were here with another senator. I can't remember his name. He's no longer a senator.
Yeah,
I think his name's Barack something. What was that?
Well, when you look at the ads on the MBTA, we were here with the president.
Right, right. In any event, that year we had a valedictorian who was a young lady, and I think she came to this country about age 14, 15 from Colombia. She couldn't speak English. She went to high school, did unbelievably well, came to this institution, graduated as the valedictorian, and she was going on to Harvard Medical School with a full scholarship. Now, if that's not transformative, I don't know what is transformative. So that's what I love about this place. And thank you, Keith, for your great leadership. Jack, I love the way he recognizes the wives. Every time I go home from this place, my wife says to me, oh, that Keith is just unbelievable. You know, he tells her over and over again, oh, your beautiful wife and your beautiful, you know, whatever, and she goes home believing it, you know, and he does that to every single woman that comes into the place. So thank you, Keith. As Boston's only public research university, UMass Boston makes unique and important contributions to higher education in this Commonwealth, while fostering our mission of improving the economic and social well-being of our citizens. On behalf of the university's Board of Trustees, I bring the greetings and congratulations to all who have joined the Chancellor for tonight's celebration. Members of our great faculty, the administration, Chancellor's Award recipients, our JFK Award recipient, alumni, our distinguished honoree degree recipients, Joseph P. Kennedy Jr., Sister Margaret Leonard, and Edwin Moses. Congratulations on your illustrious careers, and thank you for allowing us to showcase your many accomplishments to our graduates. As examples, they should strive to follow in determining their own paths to success. Although we are facing difficult times, the university's mission is more important now than ever. We must educate students for careers and leaderships in the 21st century and conduct research and teaching that advances the Commonwealth's economic competitiveness in this global economy. 2 centuries ago, a Greek philosopher predicted the only constant would be change. And since UMass Boston was founded 40 years ago, the world has changed at a dizzying pace. But a critically important role of public universities has not changed. UMass Boston looks much different today than it did 5 or 10 years ago, and its excellence inside and outside the campus and the classroom has expanded considerably. Despite the economic crisis, there has been countless notable achievements at UMass Boston over the past years, and I would like to remind you of just a few of them. President Wilson noted the UMass Boston Venture Development Center, which opened earlier this month, with well-appointed wet labs and life science research, computer labs, and glass-enclosed conference rooms. It will nurture startup companies and bring research from the lab bench to the marketplace. UMass Boston's College of Management was featured in the 2009 edition of Princeton Review, Best Business Schools. And QS, a global career and educational service company, included UMass Boston among the 200 best MBA programs in the world. Last summer, UMass Boston announced the new Michael E. Hayes Distinguished Professorship in Urban Studies in the John W. McCormick Graduate School of Policy Studies. The professorship will bring to UMass Boston a distinguished scholar in the field of underserved urban youth development with special emphasis on education, healthcare, and policy areas aimed at strengthening urban communities. Tonight is an opportunity to focus on the UMass community and its long tradition, which is highlighted by tomorrow's commencement. It marks the passage of our students into the Fellowship of Alumni. Each generation stands on the shoulders of preceding generations and continues to make our university proud. My fellow trustees and I thank you for being part of this continuum and for being part of UMass Boston. Please enjoy the evening, and thank you for joining us.
Come in. Come in. Come in. Okay. When the president was introducing students that were here, I heard Keisha, what did you do? You started yelling out, I'm here, I'm here, I'm here. What did you say? Yeah. Well, we just wanted, she's here. She's one of our students. We're so glad that you are here. Thank you for being here tonight. Okay? Yeah, I saw you. Keisha's graduate. I know. I was at your convocation. Yes. And it was a nice one. Okay? I heard them bragging about you. Okay. But I just wanted to acknowledge you tonight, okay? All right. Congratulations. Graduating tomorrow. So as we gather on the eve of this one of the most anticipated days on the university calendar, we applaud our graduates like Keisha, achievements, and celebrate our mission. We also recall the values that have sustained us since our founding, our commitment to excellent research, faculty and instruction, affordable access to quality education, and to public service. It also gives me a great pleasure to acknowledge the achievements of members of the university community who will receive special awards at our commencement. At each commencement, the John F. Kennedy Award for Academic Excellence is presented to an outstanding graduated senior, selected from nominations and not by the chancellor, from the colleges and other academic units, and interviewed by a campus-wide committee. I would like to recognize, and you're going to hear from her tomorrow, this year's winner from the College of Liberal Arts, Dominique Powell. Let's give her a round of applause. Stand up, stand up, stand up. We're going to show you off a little bit. Now, let me just tell you, you had an invasion of Pittsburgh people here tonight. I want you to know there's a gentleman in this room, 87 years young, Mr. Douglas, Herb Douglas, stand up, Pittsburgh guy, a legend, Olympian from down there. So I knew he was checking me out. He's like, what do you got? You know, I'm on the University of Pittsburgh's board and I'm all that. Then he checked out some statistics. And he found out that this is one of the most diverse campuses that you'll ever encounter. And he rolled up on me, he said, man, y'all up about 30%? I said, we're a little higher than that. I said, wait till tomorrow, and I told you, just give me a sign, right? I just want you to do what? Lift that head in the air and just give me this. When you look out there and you see the beautiful array of all the folks tomorrow. And so we just want to welcome you, man, and we're so glad that you're here as well. We love this part of the program, and I promise you we're going to catch up. Yeah, I'm a thief. I'm stealing all Edwin's, I'm going to steal all his stuff over there. Each year, we present awards to the members of our illustrious faculty for excellence in teaching, scholarship, and service. I would now like to recognize this year's recipients. Please stand as your name is read, and we're going to go detailed about you tomorrow. But tonight, we're sort of going to just give them a little flavor of this. The recipient of the Chancellor's Award for Distinguished Teaching is Professor Peter Taylor. Peter, stand up. Peter, he's a professor in the program in Critical and Creative Thinking and the Department of Curriculum and Instruction in the Graduate College of Education. We're so proud. Thank you for being here this evening. The recipient of the Chancellor's Award for Distinguished Scholarship is Professor Kenneth Clenay. Stand up, from the Department of Biology in the College of Science and Mathematics. We're so glad that he is here this evening as well. The winner of the Chancellor's Award for Distinguished Service, Professor Miren Urate. Department. Now, she's got so many attachments here. Department of Human Services in the College of Public and Community Service, and a senior research associate at the Mauricio Gaston Institute for Latino Community Development and Public Policy. And I think you have another appointment too, right? McCormick School, are you teaching over there too? And you're all over Boston, so ask the dean. Anyway, congratulations to everyone. Now, here's what I was supposed to say. After our first course, we'll pay tribute to our honorary degree recipients. I was supposed to say, enjoy your salad. But with all the commercials and everything else that's not in this book, we missed that. So what we're going to do is we're going to eat, we're going to come back, and we're going to have the honorary degree recipients, and you're going to hear from them, and then we'll have dessert, and we will close the evening, okay? So enjoy, 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 and get to know each other if you haven't had a chance to meet yet. I love that sound. I love the fact that you are so interested in having these wonderful conversations with each other, but you know why we're here this evening. We are here this evening to pay tribute to our honorary degree recipients. And now I have the honor of bringing them before you. But before I do, how'd you like that, what is it called, deeper ocean set that we just served you? Did you like that? Okay, we tried a little something different here. And I noticed that wine has been emptying out a little bit around here too. So I hear the giggles and all those other kinds of things. So we're so honored also to have back here at our table, I know that Jim Smith also talked about being in the first class, but he's also one of our former presidents of the Alumni Association. But Bill, you stand up. This is our current president of our Alumni Association, Bill Walzer. So I wanted to introduce him. Each of these outstanding individuals that's going to come before you today and tonight displays values reflective of those held by our university. We take this very seriously when we grant an honorary degree from this university. We're proud to recognize these individuals for their achievements. They, in turn, bring honor to us. They bring honor to our university through their participation in this 41st commencement. And we're just so proud of that. What I loved about walking in the room tonight and meeting them, these two that are with us tonight, that we're going to show off in a moment, was when I met them, they were so grateful to be in our presence. And I tried to explain to them we were grateful to have them in our presence, but to be in their presence just took it up another notch for us. You know, we're excited and we're looking for that thing, that energy to get us through tomorrow. Because as I said, we start celebrating commencements like April 1st or something. And every night there's something new that we do here on campus. And it's sort of tomorrow we'll all be like, oh, about 5 o'clock or so. But you've energized us to get through this morning like none have done before. And so while we're going to be honoring 4 people tomorrow, we're going to honor Senator John Kerry. And we're so grateful that he's going to be here to receive the Chancellor's Medal, but also to be our speaker. We're also going to honor Joseph Kennedy. As you know, we're the only university in New England that has its own presidential library on its campus. The John F. Kennedy Library is right here on our campus. Also on our campus is the Massachusetts State Archives in its Commonwealth Museum, and some other things, fishermen on the weekend, boats, and all those kinds of things. But we're so proud to be out here on this point. It's become the destination for people when they get off an airplane coming to this city, and we're so proud of that. And so it's my pleasure to introduce a woman whose pioneering efforts in community building practices has brought hope to those in poverty from East Harlem in New York to Boston's most disadvantaged neighborhoods. With her skill in forging alliances across local, city, and state levels, she has developed solutions that provide low-income families with access to education, jobs, housing, and emergency services. As a champion for the homeless and a leader in the neighborhood revitalization, she has worked to address the social and financial forces that worsen the plight of low-income families. Her work has transformed the neighborhoods of Roxbury and North Dorchester, enabled the formerly homeless to attend college, and ultimately helps break the cycle of poverty. You know, it's amazing for me. And I told her earlier, and she looked at me as she does, as you know, she's very humble. I told her that when this was announced, and I was walking around Roxbury, or I was in the barbershop, or I was in places that no chancellor is supposed to go, that I actually go to be with students and others, they all told me, congratulations. And I'm like, what are you talking about? You all were smart enough to grant Sister Margaret an honorary degree. And for me, when you hear it from these people, our people, those who know that without the kind of support that you've given to them over the years, things might have been a little more difficulty. It means a lot. And so, thank you. And so, join me in welcoming to this podium the founder and executive director of Project Hope, Sister Margaret Leonard.
Thank you, Keith, and thank you to all of you from UMass Boston. I am deeply grateful and honored to receive this degree from UMass Boston, and especially in the company of such an amazing group of people, of John Kerry, of Joseph Kennedy, of Edwin Boyle, and also of Dominique Powell, and Peter Taylor, and Kenneth Clean, and of course my friend and colleague over there, Maren. So I'd like to just share a couple of remarks about why this means so much to me to receive a degree from UMass Boston. I have spent the better part of my adult life seeking to create opportunities for low-income women and their families, not only to survive in frequently what is a very harsh world, but to journey beyond homelessness and poverty. Now, this mission that I hold sacred flows from my commitment to a God who yearns for justice to reign upon the earth. But as I stand here at UMass Boston and look out over here to South Boston, just a stone's throw away, I know that the passion for justice that flows in my veins was passed on by my great-grandfather. First-generation Irish-American, a fiery politician with a passion for justice in his veins, and all you have to do is read the microfiche from the past to see the critique and the positive comments about him. He was the alderman of Ward 12 and 13, a member of the Democratic State Central Committee, and faced a promising political career, but it was cut short by his death at the age of 33. And I remember so well the stories told to me by my grandfather, and also how my great-grandmother refused to collect rents when people couldn't afford it, and how they lost all the property that they had as a result of that. And every time I walk the walls of the McCormick Institute, I remember my mother telling me about the friendship of my grandfather and John McCormick. So when I count my blessings, I recall how privileged I am for my family of origin who has nurtured this passion for justice in me. A privilege I know I share deeply with John Kerry and Joe Kennedy and Edwin Moses. How privileged I am to be in your company. So it is not by accident that I found myself, when I came here 25 years ago, on a pathway to collaboration with UMass Boston. I have seen with my own eyes the result of your commission to an urban mission that has reached out to my neighborhood of North Dorchester and Roxbury and offered opportunities, resources, support to men and women struggling in low-income families and yearning for an education. I see your mission realized in the lives of so many women and men who have accessed higher education through your efforts. I see their faces. I can name their names. They are now my collaborators in the nonprofit world, in the public sector, in the corporate sector. What an amazing accomplishment. What a win-win situation for all of us. I want to particularly mention the tremendous contribution of the College of Public and Community Services before any other institution reached out to become a neighborhood university. They were there. And lastly, those of us who have been ignited with a passion for justice are always searching for opportunities for systems change, for public policy change at the city, state, and national and global level to create justice, equality, opportunity for families at the bottom, low-income families. And I have found the perfect partner with the College of Public, not with the college, but with the Center for Social Policy. How blessed my life has been with friendships and collaborations with Donna Haig-Friedman, with Randy Albelda, with Elaine Werby, with Michael Stone, with Lorna Rivera, with Maren, and so many others. This center's participatory research and action addressing the structural causes of low wages, housing affordability, unequal distribution of resources has been significant. This research has led to the promotion of solutions to address the root causes of poverty, of homelessness, to reduce social and economic inequities, and to help shape social policies that build on strength and foster family and community well-being. A Buddhist monk, who's a favorite of mine by the name of Pema Chodron, has a line in a poem which I love and conveys something of my feelings of gratitude for having the privilege of being part of this extraordinary community. And it's this: how did I ever get so lucky to have my heart awaken to the suffering of others? And I add a second sentence to that. How did I ever get so lucky to be in partnership, in collaboration with such a wonderful group of committed people? Searchers after justice, partners, collaborators, and friends. So I conclude these brief remarks as a good nun. I'd like to do it with a prayer. And one of the things I'd like to say to you is the great St. Augustine said, when people say amen to a prayer, it means they sign their name to it. So when I finish, I'm going to ask you to say amen and sign your name to it. So may the passion for justice that flows in our veins, the Carrolls and the Leonards and the Kennedys and the Kerrys and the Boyles, and the spirit of opportunity that is ingrained in the mission, in walls, and staff of this great institution, UMass Boston, ignite, converge with a multitude of individuals and institutions at this new moment of vision and opportunity in our nation, and become like a raging fire that purges what needs to be changed in us and flames the belief that we cherish to truly create liberty and justice for all. So let us say, amen, amen, amen. Thank you.
Sister Margaret, Sister Margaret, Sister Margaret. Amen. Signing our name to it. You know, it's now my pleasure to introduce a man whose considerable contributions to amateur sports and all sports, both on and off the field, exemplify the character of a true Olympic champion. Three-time Olympic track and field medalist, he later developed a test for performance-enhancing drugs and became an ardent spokesperson to combat their use in sports. His work with amateur athletes includes involvement with the International Olympic Committee, Medical and Ethics Commission, the International Amateur Athletic Association, Special Olympics, which is wonderful. We do that right here on this campus. We have a wonderful camp, Camp Shriver, the founder of Special Olympics, right on this campus. Another thing happening at the University of Massachusetts, Boston, that we're very proud of. The Goodwill Games, the United States Olympic Committee's Olympics Festival, and his own Athletes Trust Fund. As chairman of Laureus World Sports Academy, he enlists world-class athletes in efforts to promote sports as an agent of social change. Now, I remember years ago when he first came on the scene, and people were saying there was this guy, and he was from Morehouse, and they said, what? That is an unbelievable athlete. He's going to win the Olympics. And he ran, and he ran, and he ran, and with every hurdle, folk were just pulling for him all over the country. Then, that wasn't enough. He went on to demonstrate that it doesn't matter how old they say you're supposed to be in track and field. It took, time. It took a while for time to catch up to this wonderful athlete. But most important, he's talking about jumping some of the hurdles in society and making sure that people throughout the world knew how to do that as well. And that's why we're honoring you. That's what we do here at this university. We help people get over those hurdles, but we also help them to create the possibilities like you have after that. It doesn't end when that career ends, they go on to something else. You're an example of that, an example for our students tomorrow, and we're so honored, Edwin Moses, to have you in our presence tonight. Welcome, and come on up and speak.
Thank you, Chancellor Motley. I don't know why I brought this up, pretending as though I had something written on it to say this evening, but I just wanted to have something in my hands this evening because there's absolutely no notes or nothing. I think it was the beginning of March. I was at home. I had just come back from a trip to London and I believe to Italy, wherever I was, and I got home and I get stacks and stacks of mail, and I think I waited an extra day. I got home very late that evening. Next day I opened my mail and I think it was the last letter that I actually opened because I opened the ones that I know carry the bad news, the bills, and all the letters that you expect to get. And one of the last letters I opened that day was from University of Massachusetts, and I opened it and it said, Edwin Moses, you know, we're going to confer upon you a doctorate of science, honoris causa for your work and everything. And I was like, I almost passed out. My blood pressure went low. And I think, I think I called Michelle immediately in London and said, you never guess what kind of letter I got. Within like 3 or 5 minutes, I called my mom and everyone else because I was just so excited. And it's one of the most exciting things that's really happened to me in my life because I think in the letter that I sent to you, I said, I come from a family of public service where my mom and dad were both educators, and I used to follow my mom down to the Head Start program. I must have been, about 9, 10 years old. She was a director of Head Start, and go down there and volunteer and serve the orange drinks and cupcakes and things like that to the kids. And other than that, walk around and explore the dungeons of the Edison Elementary School. Just, had the whole school to ourselves, my brothers and I. So I come from a family of really public service and educators. And, we don't ask for a lot. We just do in our family. And I learned that by watching my father as a principal nurture kids and make kids whole. And I've had people come back to me even in the last 5 years and say, I went to school, your dad was my principal. He had to spank me and paddle me a couple of times, but he really made me the person that I am, and I'm glad that someone, back then, this was like early 60s and 70s, someone showed me some love. That's what they're saying now, which doesn't happen anymore. So I come from a family that gives, public service, educators. And so I went to this small, tiny school, which reminds me a lot of this university here, where the ethics is very important, where you're trying to teach kids about examples and what you can be. The type of people that you're honoring, even here this evening, really means something to me because I went to a small school. A lot of you have heard of it, Morehouse College, no track, very small institution. My class in 1978 was the first class, over 100 students, and the school's been in business since 1867, and we hadn't graduated over 100 at a time until my class in 1978. So I come from a school with very high morals and a very high outlook, very high premium on ethics. You're talking about Benjamin Mays, Howard Thurman, Dr. King. You have people like Maynard Jackson, the president of former mayor of Atlanta, roommates of mine like Spike Lee and people like Sam Jackson who are really dedicated to anything that we do. So I went to this tiny school without a track scholarship, physics and engineering, and 3 years later I became the Olympic champion because the people at the university, the students meant something to the faculty and the staff and the faculty and everyone at the high echelons of the school really meant something to the people. So that's the kind of feeling I've gotten here this evening from listening to you talk and how fired up you are and how motivated you are and how important your people are to you and your students are to you, and no doubt how much you are to them. So I'm just very, very pleased that throughout my life I've been in a situation where I've kind of grew up in a household where I came to realize that and was sent to a very nurturing environment. And even in my wildest dreams, I would have never thought that I would become an Olympic champion, because when I graduated from high school in 1973, I looked about like Urkel looked when he first came on the screen. It's true. I was about this big, my lion mom. Both of my brothers were in high school, one 2 years younger, one 2 years older. My younger brother's here. They were both bigger than me. It was like the oldest one, the little one, and me. And, but I loved the sport of track and field. I always loved to compete. And although I didn't get a scholarship to run track and field, I went to Morehouse to study physics and engineering. Stayed in track and field longer than people that were a whole lot better than me. And 3 years later, I became an Olympic champion because I love sports. The way guys walk around with basketballs these days, that's how I saw track and field. 6 o'clock in the morning, I used to go out and run on the streets before I went to class, before I started taking physics and labs. I would be on the streets running at 6 o'clock in the morning, go to class, come back, and then work out again in the rest of the day. So coming from an environment where we didn't have anything, jumping fences, I had to go to different high schools, jump fences, sneak into Georgia Tech after hours and get booted out. I mean, I'm sure that no one's ever been chased out of more track and field facilities than me. But those same ethics and morals and dedication that I had to experience at Morehouse and use to my advantage, I think are really why I'm here this evening, because of the things off the track that I've tended to do. Because everyone looks at my performances, the winning over 9 years, 9 months, and 9 days. And for me, that's a very, very, what the public has seen of my career is a very, very, very small part of it. Because if you start training in October and you're running through September, or start training, and competing for 10 months of the year, and you're only running 20 races at 400-meter hurdles, and each race is approximately 3/4 of a second. You're only working 15 minutes a year. I mean, that's really it. That's what it really comes down to. So all of your work for 9 months of the year, when you start in October, November, and go through September competing, it really comes down to 15 minutes. And so I was lucky enough through my studies in engineering, through being very dedicated and being able to put up with pain, because track and field is running 400 meters and hurdles is not a painless endeavor. It hurts bad every day, and you're pushing your body to go further than it's really supposed to. And so, those 9 months I compressed into 15 minutes and was able to do that successfully over a 12-year, from 1976 to 1988, 12 years. But that kind of dedication I was able to transfer to other things in my life, public service, from an ethical point of view, and coming from Morehouse, where we had no track, we had no gym, we had no weights. For me, my philosophy was show me some hurdles and I'm in business. Give me some track shoes, show me to the track, and I'm in business. So the whole thing about steroids and all the different techniques that people use, extreme weights, I didn't use weights until probably 2/3 of my career, professional career, was over when I started lifting weights. So this whole concept of performance enhancement and everything, to me, was totally foreign, because for me it was like, okay, they're having a meet at that track today. Georgia Tech's having a meet. That means we can't train over there. We've got to get in our cars and drive, see if the track is open, make sure nobody's trained, and probably jump the fence and train. So from an ethical point of view, that's how I really kind of cut my teeth within the world of the Olympic, committees and track and field, because I honestly felt that from an ethical point of view, whatever you're able to think about, whatever you're able to put together from an ethical and moral point of view, and whatever the sheer heart that you had, that's what you bring out into the athletic field. And that's what I've felt throughout all my career. And it's not been the most popular view in the sports community, and I did not earn a lot of friends by thinking that way. However, over a 25-year period, I think my philosophy has been proven right, and now the sports governing bodies are really trying to crack down on athletes that I probably competed against, and people in the 80s and 90s competed against that were clean. So, you know, that ethical grounding and moral leadership that I grew up under, not only from my family at Morehouse College, I was able to put on the track and learn to become a great athlete. But even more so than that, I'd have been able to take that further in my life and do more things for other people. And with the organization that I work with, Honorees, we've got 70 projects in about 38 different countries right now. We started with 6 projects in 4 different countries. The first project visit that we ever had happened on 9/11 in 2001. We were in Northern Ireland, where we had a situation where we had Protestant kids and Catholic kids who lived on totally different sides of Derry, the town of Derry in Northern Ireland. And they had never had any contact with each other whatsoever. So we had a youth camp where we went out into a, there was a sort of like a encampment on a lake where the kids learned to do both ethnic and traditional sports together, on teams together. And it was the first time that these kids had interacted with one of the opposite religious sect in their life, and it was very successful. And one of the messages that we had on that day was that we wanted to cancel the camp because I remember walking into at 2 o'clock in the afternoon when our visit started, and there were rumors about a plane flying into New York City. And about an hour later, they said that another plane had flown into one of the World Trade Center buildings in New York City. And being out in the country, we weren't really sure, but there were some journalists there with us. And then when I got back home to the hotel that evening, about 5 o'clock, then I saw the video of the trade centers falling and so forth. So we had a big decision to make because everyone wanted to just shut down the whole project at that point. They wanted to let the kids go and so forth. And they asked me about it as the chairman of the organization. I said, I think that, you know, we're here in a situation in a country where religious strife has been going on for almost 1,000 years. And here we are in the year 2001, and these kids are sitting, we've got them in a camp for 5 days. Protestant kids on one side, Catholic kids on the other side, and we've got them rooming together. Everyone had a roommate from the other part of town. We had a high level of counselors there that were there to assist the kids. They were doing Irish games, Gaelic games, and traditional rowing and all types of things. And we had these kids really moving. And they were interested, and we continued the project the next day. And my message to the kids was, look, you know, you live in a situation where there's a lot of hatred. Look at what's happened, because at that time we didn't know exactly what happened, but we knew it was because of, you know, religious strife. That was our thoughts at the time. We were told that it was Islamic extremists that had blown the World Trade Centers down. And I said, you live in a world where you can make a difference, because you're here today and you're having contact with another kid from across the river, from across the road, from across the demarcation zone, that you have an opportunity to make a change. You might be the person that lives in your neighborhood that's going to make a severe change in the way that things are thought of in your country forever. And we kept this project going. It took us about 3 days to get out of Ireland because all the flights were shut down. But you know, that project and many, many different types of projects that we've dealt with in our organization are something that I've been involved with for the last 9 years. And that's what I do now. And it's really been one of the few things that's been able to replace the joy and the thrill and, quite frankly, give me the kind of excitement that I have for running. It will never replace running, but it's really, really exciting to know that you can go to Cambodia or you can go to Kenya, or you can go to India or Indonesia or Bosnia. We've got projects in 38 countries, and really make a difference to kids around the world. And it's because I was lucky enough to go to a school with no track and have all those facilities and become a world-class athlete. So that's what dedication is about. That's what my institution is about. I'm really outstandingly pleased to be honored here at UMass Boston. I think for those very same reasons. That those things really do matter, and they're very important to perpetuate. And whatever I can do in the future to help your students.
You've already just highlighted it.
I'm willing to do it.
He's staring you down right now.
Yeah, yeah.
Borg O'Malley over here, he's like,
yeah.
you highlighted everything that we're going to be calling on you for.
All right, thank you.
You know?
Thank you. You're welcome. Thank you.
It's beautiful. All right, beautiful. Edwin Moses, I tell you, man. You know, thank you so much for your presence. And you think I'm teasing you. When that hood goes on tomorrow and you become one of our alums, this guy is zeroing in already on the work. You know, our other honorary degree recipient is Joe Kennedy, who is a University of Massachusetts Boston alum and came out of our College of Public and Community Service. And we're so proud that he is going to be receiving an award tomorrow. He's chairman and president, as mentioned, of the Citizens Energy Corporation, but he's also so much for so many years to this city, this Commonwealth, and to this country. We will definitely acknowledge him tomorrow. I've been told that I am supposed to tell you that breakfast starts at 8:00 a.m. tomorrow. That's not 9. That's not 9:30. That's 8:00. So that means organizing all them folk over there, Edwin, and everybody else here, to be here on time and early, because we're on the peninsula. And so as you come out on this peninsula, it could take you just as much time to get from there to there as it took you to get from where you came from to here. All right? So, because everyone's going to be excited about being here tomorrow. So be here. It's going to be in the ballroom right upstairs tomorrow. I want to thank each of you for being here tonight. I want to say to Orville Wright, musician extraordinaire, our faculty member. Thank you, man. You always make our hearts smile when you're here with us. Your presence, your musicianship is just second to none, and we're very proud, man. Gourmet caterers, thank you tonight. And we're just so proud that all of you took time from your lives to be with us. Come out tomorrow. Let's celebrate. Let's make this a special occasion for our graduates. And you know it also is a special occasion for all of us. Good night. Sleep tight. Oh, yeah. It does say, tell them there's going to be dessert being served. I just do that so they can get all upset in the back over there. Allie and Diane, let's give them a round of applause. Because they always write all these notes. Tell them this, tell them that, do this and do that, but they never write down to acknowledge them for their work. Thank you, too, for hanging in there. We'll get through tomorrow. We'll get through the weekend alumni events. Then we're on to Monday and all the other things we're going to be starting to do from there. So listen, thank you both. All right, good night. We're going to have dessert. But I'm telling you good night because I'm not coming back to the microphone again. Oh!